the one. We're live with one link. All right, starting the podcast. So, welcome to the CapmLew podcast with CapmLew and your co-host,
Luke.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
We're up here in the upper sanctum, and it is Thursday, December 8th, 6:58 p.m., and we are about to start recording on the Podbean. We've done a sound check. We never do those.
No.
So things are starting to really come together.
Spicy.
And as usual, we brewed a pot of coffee and have fired up Jan Facebook Live. Welcome, Facebook Live. We see that all one single one of you, three of you, have joined us. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey guys, 4 or 5 people on there. Johnny Davidson. Let me just skeel through and see who's here. Johnny Davidson, a warm greeting to you. Sam Cook, good to see you. Scott Laughlin.
Hi, Scott.
Good to see you, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Wow. Yes, evening to you. Well, this is really nice. Luke, I keep wanting to get some tech that allows us to have more interaction.
Yeah.
When we're podcasting, it's hard to pay attention to a video, and so we're going to introduce our podcast on the podcast, and we're gonna dip off of Facebook Live after 5 to 15 minutes with you good folks, and proceed into another layer. This is our first real month of podcasting, and our goal right now is we want to establish just a baseline resource for people to know who we are, what makes us tick. We're not sure that we're going to really fully succeed in that, but we're going to give it a try. And then also we want to experiment with some of our tech. As you can see tonight, we've been experimenting with interesting places to hook our lavalier mics. I don't have a hair tie for my beard right now. I keep running out, so I've gone straight to the beard with the lav mic. Luke is wearing a tactical. What is it?
It's an apparatus.
It's like a fanny pack.
Yes.
Right?
For tactical needs.
Yeah. And so you could put your hole punchers in there,
yes.
Maybe a half scissor.
Yes.
Anyway, and he has gone with the classic sling bag look. So we're fashion forward.
Yeah, we are indeed.
We're fashion forward. Function before form at all times.
Indeed.
But it doesn't mean we'd kick form out of bed for eating crackers. So.
Indeed.
Well, we're here. We got our coffee. We got our vape. We have our peppy drink. No wobble pops.
No.
And we are going to go into another segment on Luke's early life. For those of you who've taken the ride, we are not holding back on our life stories. Mine is actually I did hold back on my life story. There's so much I did not include in my life story, and that same goes for Luke. But Luke, your life story is super intense.
It is. Indeed.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, what do I have to say?
What do you have to say about having one of the most?
I don't know.
You know what the problem with your intense life story is?
Yeah.
That it's not
fake,
as uncommon as it ought to be.
That's true.
That's the thing about Luke's life story that really gets to me, is that it is not as rare as I wish it were.
Yep.
And the degree of redemption and the degree of health and wholeness and love that Luke has found is too rare.
Yes.
And that's why we're telling it. When we were going to do, for years I've been plotting this podcast. You would think it would be smoother, but I knew, just like everything I do, it has to be, whatever at first. You got to be patient. I have to be patient.
Yep.
And I knew that when we did this, that I read Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and there's this one part in there that says, find out what the rule is, that if you break it, you'll destroy, like, your opposition. Well, our opposition isn't people.
No.
Luke and I are both convinced that we live in a world that is largely governed by dark forces. And QAnon cannot save you. And so as people who've been redeemed from the kingdom of darkness and dark forces, still ridiculous people, still hilarious.
Yes.
Anyways, what was I saying about that?
I don't know.
It was
but
good.
I got your back though, bro.
It was good.
To the end.
I'll just stand by it.
No, that's
you
good.
can't
I
take
like
it.
it. No, you're saying it's much more common. My story is much more common than people think. It's 1 in 3 and 1 in 4. I think that's the leading statistic at this point. 1 in 3 for women, 1 in 4 for men.
Yeah, and if you assume that there's a 100% rate of reporting,
yeah, what are you
isn't.
gonna? Yeah, it's
And don't get started on missing kids and trafficking.
bro.
But we will.
We will though.
Yeah,
That's
we're almost
absolutely.
certain that we're going to wind up discussing things that You know what's weird is people who wish we wouldn't discuss the things that we're talking. I understand if people can't bear to listen to some of these things.
Yeah.
Much respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I can't get behind a person who thinks you shouldn't discuss it, talk about it, and break the surface tension on that.
Yeah.
No, can't get behind you.
Yeah.
In fact, you can get behind me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
a quote
Is it really?
from Matthew 16. Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan."
Oh, that's okay. We're
When
doing
Peter
that.
had all these good ideas about keeping him alive, but Jesus knew it was going to be by dying that he would die.
Yeah, do the thing with the stuff. Yes.
Relax, spoiler alert, he did not stay dead. So, neither will we. Yeah.
Amen.
When we're finished dying, we're going to bust right out of the ground. Ain't no grave can hold this body down.
No.
So, to those of you who braved, I honestly think the last episode was just hair-raising. Like, really, really rough.
Yes.
I'm not saying that the next one won't be.
Yeah.
In fact, some of our hot takes on things, when we talk about what's really going on, like, we're never going to be, we're not going to be a safe zone for people who want to keep things going without addressing some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
We are committed to making it less safe.
Yes.
For that sort of stuff. And number one rule to break,
Yes.
talk about it.
Talk about it.
Talk
That's
about
absolutely true.
That was the rule I broke in the skateboarding industry. The number one rule I noticed in the skateboarding industry was, if you want to work in the skateboarding industry, never criticize the skateboarding industry. And so I said, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because they've been lying to us and tricking us for so long. And that's such a small thing.
Yep.
Did cause some strong reactions because I guess it threatened some powerful legacies. Whatever, man.
Powerful
We're
legacies.
all just children, man. Relax.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, if you're that spindled up around it that you can come to blows over some legacy concern, over some almost pro career, dude, let me buy you another coffee.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we're about to get into it. So, to our Facebook audience, thank you guys for joining us for a minute. You guys have a link on this live video that you can hit. It's going to take probably tomorrow morning is when you should check back to see. And we have not been accepted by Instagram. They told us they will not verify us. And
is that true?
Yep. And I don't know if Apple is going to either. I haven't checked to see if we're on Apple Podcasts yet, but I despair.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
However, I have been bumping around the idea of going on Rumble with our videos.
Yeah.
I think that I'll host them there because on Rumble, when you close your phone, the audio keeps playing just like a podcast.
Yep.
I mean, shoot, Luke, they might save us $40 a month.
They might say it's
Just
$40
go
a
into
month,
Rumble, we
yeah.
might save $40 a month.
Can
on
we go
this.
live on Rumble and actually interact with people?
I haven't even looked.
Yeah, I haven't even done my homework. I have a lot of homework to do.
It's possible. It
Yeah.
is. So
Well, and I'm still trying to figure out how does Tim Pool. I mean, people are on they're on people's podcasts and they're commenting as they're talking. I don't understand. Is it a Patreon? I don't know.
I know that on YouTube, once you have 1,000 subscribers,
yes,
and you've hit a certain, they sent it all to me.
There's thresholds.
Yeah, you have to hit so many minutes of listening and so many this and so many that.
Right.
And I get it. But I just remember the good old days when you used to have a website and you would, you'd be able to publish a video to YouTube and then put it into embed it in your website, and people would go on your website to watch your stuff. You didn't have to have, but you couldn't do live. Yeah. So YouTube offers a whole suite of services.
Right.
I don't know how. Man, I'll tell you what. You know, if I had $1 million, I'd buy some furniture for your house, like maybe a nice Chesterfield or an ottoman.
We're in the singing portion of Lew's process.
You know that song?
No.
If I had $1 million.
What is that?
It's the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh my gosh. That's
if
why
I
don't
had
know
$1 million.
So grateful I don't know this song.
I'd be rich. It's not really true nowadays.
Yeah, that's really not true.
You'd be fine if you had
$1 million. You'd be fine. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well, Facebook, thanks for joining us. And catch the episode over on Podbean. Just listen to it on Podbean.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We're doing this because we love somebody.
Yes.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Raiders.
Let's see. How do you stop it? I forgot.
You got to tab it. Or finish in the bottom right.
Ah, there it is. Thanks.